There was a place where the mountains touched the sky, and a river ran so clear it looked like liquid glass. In the center of this river sat a great stone. It was massive, jagged, and proud. For as long as the forest could remember, the stone had not moved an inch. It believed that its strength lay in its weight, and its wisdom lay in its defiance. "I am the master of the current," the stone would whisper to the moss growing in its cracks. "The world moves, but I remain." The river, however, was different. It was restless and soft. It had no shape of its own, taking only the shape of the earth beneath it. To the stone, the river seemed weak. It was constantly yielding, constantly turning, and always running away from every obstacle in its path. One season, the great rains came. The sky turned the color of iron, and the peaceful stream became a white-maned beast. The water rose, carrying broken trees and heavy boulders from the high peaks. The river roared with a voice that shook the roots of the ancient pines. The stone braced itself. It dug its sharp edges deeper into the riverbed. "Let the flood come," the stone thought. "I have held my ground for 1,000 years. I will not be moved by something as soft as water." The water hit the stone with the force of 1,000 hammers. Logs smashed against its face. Silt and sand ground away at its skin. The stone felt a strange sensation, a vibration it had never known before. It was the feeling of its foundation trembling. The more the stone resisted, the more the water tore at its base. The very stillness that the stone was so proud of was now its greatest enemy. Because it would not bend, the pressure became unbearable. Nearby, a young willow tree grew on the bank. Its branches were thin and fragile. As the flood surged, the willow did not fight. It dipped its long, slender leaves into the torrent. It leaned so far back that it seemed it would surely snap. It let the water flow over it, around it, and through it. The willow looked defeated, bowed low toward the mud. By the third night, a terrible sound echoed through the valley. A deep, hollow crack. The stone, unable to bear the weight of its own resistance, split in two. The current caught the jagged pieces, tumbling them over and over, grinding them against the bottom until the great stone was nothing more than a collection of small, smooth pebbles, scattered and lost to the depths. When the sun finally broke through the clouds, the floodwaters began to recede. The valley grew quiet again. The willow tree slowly rose. It shook the silt from its leaves and straightened its back. Not a single branch was broken. It stood exactly where it had always been, nourished by the very water that had tried to claim it. The river continued its journey, humming a low song. It was no longer a beast, but it was not the same as before. It had carved a new path through the earth, deeper and wider. It had not destroyed the obstacles in its way. It had simply outlasted them by becoming them. Down in the quiet pools where the water rested, the small pebbles that used to be the great stone lay still. They were smooth now, without any sharp edges to catch the current. They had finally found peace, but only after they stopped trying to fight the flow. The mountain air was still, and the only sound was the soft pulse of the water moving toward a sea it had never seen, yet always knew was there. To be hard is to break. To be fluid is to endure.